Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to League of Europe. This is Division 4, and we head to the jewel of its crown tonight, Monte Carlo, the Monaco Grand Prix. As you can tell, I'm not Tin Can. He's not here tonight, so I'm covering for him for this week only. But joining Division 4 commentary box, as per usual, we got Nerlin. Nerlin, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's nice to have someone who isn't a Villa fan in commentary for the week. That's good.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not a big fan of football anyway, but this is a track I'm almost certain where qualifying is even more crucial tonight because there's going to be hardly any overtaking opportunities. There's going to be quite a few overtaking spots probably in the tunnel, but that's pretty much it. But if you have a good qualifying spot and don't get any damage, you should do pretty well around here.
I can't say the same's going to happen for me. Every single practice session I've done, I think I've been in the wall.
Same.
But we've seen a lot of systems in D4 the last few races where fast people have got poor results because they've not managed the race well. So this could be interesting. If they're going to apply that to Monaco, we could find ourselves a 5th race winner in 5 races.
Which I have to say, I was looking at the standings before the stream, and that's absolutely insane, not gonna lie. So, the results from last week, we went to Austria. Championship leader, Mr. Bouter, is not here tonight, but he won the race. And Jordan finished in 2nd position. Aledi finished in 3rd. Lix finished in 4th. We had Dutch face 5th, and we've had Esteban, who finished 6th. Storm finished 7th. MCR finished in 8th. Recify, another quick driver around here, in 9th. Steve Day finished in 10th. Then we got Sarah in 11th, and Pastor Jasper was your final point scorer. And your standings for Division 4 will show you the top 10. Mr. Bouter on 58 points, Liz in 2nd on 42, Pastor Jasper on 34, Esteban 33, MTR on 31, Steve Day on 29, joint with Recify, and then Jordan in 8th on 28. So those are your standings for the top 8 at least. And what makes it different compared to previous races is we have decided to have Monaco in the night time for all of our PS and PC divisions. So that should make things even more exciting, and hopefully it will probably provide more action and maybe chances for people to not make too many mistakes, but there are chances they could make mistakes because of the cooler temperatures around here as well. So it is midnight in the game, of course, but we're seeing quite a few people on their outlaps already. A few people on the mediums, which strongly suggests that we could have a dry session, which is kind of like a relief for all drivers because most people, they don't like Monaco.
Yeah, I do get confused with a lot. Like, there seems to be a very common strategy where you go out on the mediums first, and I've never really understood it because, especially with tracks like this, I feel like you're wearing a set of tyres where there's a good chance of safety cars and maybe having to pit a couple of times because of damage. I think I'd want the mediums as fresh as they can be, but the only reason I could see going out on the mediums would maybe be at the end if you think you're fast enough on them.
Yeah, I could see why people would go on them, but in a way, Monaco, you're not going to be using the softs for a long time because you're more than likely going to be hitting a wall or approaching a safety car anyway. So, yeah, mediums for Recify at the moment, as we're currently on board with him. He only won 1 race this season, and that was in France. The other race, he either DNF'd or only got a few points, so he's on 29 points at the moment. He is a driver that could get strategy wrong a couple of times, but if he plays his cards right, he should be fast driver. Aledi as well. He's quite quick around this track, but again, he doesn't get his strategy right. And, you know, strategy is quite key, and the undercut's quite key as well, because if you end up behind some traffic, it could force you to make mistakes or be forced to stay behind another car for a very, very long time. And you really do not want to do that. Remember, we saw Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen having a nice battle with older tyres from Lewis Hamilton's car. He still managed to win the race as well. So for this track, in some cases, it doesn't matter what tyre you're on, really, because there's not much difference to it, and you just want to be the one in front.
Yeah, like you said before with the undercut, this track's one of the weirdest ones because you do want to undercut if you're stuck in a train, you don't want to be stuck behind people, but if you have to time it so well. This is one of those tracks, we all know it's not a new concept. A lot of people have their own private Jeffs in the party chats. This is one of those tracks where you need one because you need to know exactly where you're going to come out, because if you're going to come out behind the pack and you get stuck, that's it, you're there for the rest of the race more than likely. So the pit stops here are probably going to be the most exciting part of the race.
Yes, as we're seeing Elodie now going through the tunnel section as well. People are warned about track limits tonight, including the pit lane as well, which could catch people out quite a few times as well, as we've already got one driver that's retired from this session. But here he comes then, Elodie heading towards Raskas now, very, very tight. Coming up here as well, heading towards the final corner. One benchmark time on the board, but we're seeing Elodie up to the line. Can he beat a 110.3? No, not quite. 1 tenth slower than Pastor Jasper at the moment. 110.4. We have a few more people coming across the line. We've got a Red Bull up to the line. Gel on provisional pole position. And then we've got, I think, a Ferrari of Esteban coming across the line. And it's P5 for him, 111.8. On the mediums as well. That's a pretty decent time on the medium tyres as well. Then we got, I think, Flip about to start. Here, well, just started is that. Then we got Mercedes up to the line of Licht, another quick driver in this tier, 111.1. So times are coming thick and fast here. 6 people setting lap time, so I think people may find it struggling around here at the moment. But I'm just running on board with Flip at the moment. He's purple in set to 1, so he's going quite quick around here. But he's another driver that's been in the wars this season in terms of incidents. Monaco's a track where incidents are quite common, so let's hope he's not in the wars tonight. And as I just said that, he didn't. He just hit the wall.
Yeah, Flip Namstrom's one of those. He can't help himself but get a couple of penalties, and I think he's always the first one to grab a penalty. So this is one of those tracks. You wouldn't think it's as easy as it is to pick up a penalty, but it is. You're so eager to get turned in on those chicanes. It's very easy to pick one up. So, and especially once you get damage, you can run wide so often. So penalties will be big here with how close the trains are going to be formed. If you pick up one penalty, that could drop you 6-7 positions maybe. So it's going to be very eager to stay out of that. I do want to say these front times are very, very impressive for the first runs in D4. There's people, I'll say myself, in Division 2, we're not running that much faster. So for your first lap to be a 10 flat, that's a very impressive time for D4. And I didn't think we'd see many people in the 9s, but we might just see quite a few people dipping into the 9s this session.
Yeah, there are some people that love Monaco as a track, and they may have it as a one-track wonder, and then the other tracks are absolutely horrible, but we are seeing a pattern where a lot of people are saying good lap times, as we're seeing a Haas car in the background spinning. I think that was Storm. Yes, it was Storm that spun in the background, but luckily he was on its outlap. Hopefully he hasn't hit the wall. I'm seeing, is anyone else crossing the line? No one else is crossing the line at the moment. I think we just got Ryan B on a lap right now as he heads past Mirabeau and into the tunnel section now. So I'll look at that view of the boat as well. It looks pretty nice as well. Damon Hill, remember, lost the car there as well, where he lost his engine. He slowed down a little bit and there was loads of smoke pouring out the back of his car. Luckily, no engine issues here today because we don't have that in multiplayer. But imagine people would probably have that if they do career mode or co-op or even my team. So Ryan B then past the swimming pool chicane, another place where you can cut the corners, as I done that quite a few times in practice. Purple sector 2 right now. I wonder if that's a glitch in the game or if it was legitimate. If it was legitimate, I think this could be a good time for Ryan B up to the line. 111.1, which puts himself into P6, so maybe not a good final sector, but still a couple of tenths separating between himself, Lix and Racify. So we've got quite a good group forming there as well. MCR is in the middle of his lap as well. Everyone now is on their second run, well, about to start their second run as well. And everybody, unsurprisingly, has gone for the soft tyres.
Yeah, speaking of, you talk about Damon Hill there, moments at Monaco. What would you say stands out as your best memory from Monaco? What's your favourite Monaco Grand Prix moment?
I don't know. Well, I do remember the Ayrton Senna Nigel Mansell battle back in the day as well, where someone had so much damage, but they still went on to win the race anyway. I'm trying to remember which moment it was. It actually was 1992, where he actually had a loose tyre nut, Ayrton Senna, and Mansell could not find a way through, even though Mansell had the fresher tyres. So Senna won the race on that one, and that just shows the track positioning key. So that was one of my favourite moments. Of course, we had Daniel Ricciardo winning a race in Monaco as well. Oh, someone's binned it just before Mirabeau there. But yeah, those are my two stand-up moments. And 1993 as well, Senna was absolutely dominant in Monaco there as well. And it showed that he's a class of the street circuits. I can't remember how many times Senna's won, but he's probably won the most out of all most drivers on the track as well. So, and Jim Clark as well is quite popular. Yeah, Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost were the only drivers to win the Monaco Grand Prix in 10 seasons. So, and then obviously more people won before that. But yeah, Senna has got to be a standout driver in Monaco for me at the moment. But we're seeing more people coming across the line. We've got an Alpine, an AlphaTauri just about to start. Well, just cross the line, 1:10.9. I don't think he improved there, so he stays in 5th position. But I wonder if these people will be replicating similar moments tonight. Well, not really, because it's night, but will they be making similar moves to what we saw back in the day as Sprunky has retired from
I
the
just want to
session?
point out real quick, Jelly is half a second up.
Why, but we don't know.
We've got DNH Jelly half a second up.
Yeah, quite a few people are a second up at the moment as Slayer is going through the tunnel now. So we've got, let's see which Ferrari is up to line, P6. So that is not a bad lap time, 8 tenths clear of his previous best at the moment. And then we've got a Red Bull up to the line, which is Slayer. Or is he going into the pits? No, he is going into the pits. So it will be... no, it won't be Rectified because he's going into the pits as well. So will be Paul DePose, who's won a race this season, looking to add another one to his list. We could see the first repeat winner this season in Division 4. He could be one of them, as we are starting to see times just getting very close right now. A few people just missing the wall there as Paul DePose goes into the pits, so he wasn't happy about that one. Jordan's backed off, I think. It's impossible to tell. So I don't think he'll be improving, and I think that's it for the moment. No improvements though for our front lot, and nobody's gone into the 1.9s yet. So I think Gel could be, maybe he could be pole position for the whole session. Maybe his 110 would be enough.
Yeah, well, Gel, I was just pointing out then, before he hit the swimming pool session, I think he invalidated, he had to go into the pits. He was actually 5 tenths up on his 10 fly. He was on for a 9.5 with a sector to go still. So his time's definitely there. He could easily be dipping into the low 9s. It was unfortunately invalidated there. I'd love to see him finish that lap, but if he's able to get that and other people still can't improve, this could be a showcase. Gel might drive away with this.
Yeah, we could, but we're riding on board with SFI now. Interestingly, he's on 2 laps on the soft tyres. Even though tyre wear is not too bad around here, I wouldn't recommend it, which he goes into the pits anyway. So that is probably the best option anyway. Who else is coming on a lap? I think a few more people on laps. Actually, Pastor Jasper is on a lap right now, and is he... Actually, he's doing all right on his lap at the moment. Or is he backed off?
It looks like he's backed off a little bit.
Yeah, he has. So 6 minutes left to go in the session, as for some reason I'm dropping frames at the moment on my stream, so I will have to probably turn the bit rate down a little bit. But Peter Jasper comes up to the line in the Ferrari. What can he do as he comes up to the line now? 1:16.5. He does not improve on his lap time then. So he stays in the position that he's in right now as well. And Paul DePose, interestingly, is going on the medium compounder tyres, which is probably something I wasn't expecting right now. But I wouldn't recommend starting on the mediums due to the undercut. But if he plays his cards right, he could be on the fresher tyres at the end. But we will see. He's got to have a miraculous lap, but he did say a slow 1:18.6 on a set of the mediums anyway, so it is to be expected.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on Eddie's lap time here. He had a little shake coming out of the hairpin, but other than that, he's had a very fast lap. It was a purple sector 1. With that little wobble, he's still probably on for quite a fast lap time here. He's taken the chicane not the best as he possibly could, but I think he's still looking to improve it too as well. At the moment, this is looking like it's on for pole position.
Yeah, it is. It is looking on for pole position right now, as we are seeing Ryan B going quite quickly in the tunnel section. We'll see if he gets purple in sector 2 too.
Now he does with a 9.9.
Wow! And Peter Jasper.
And Jasper beats him straight away.
Wow, that is quite crazy at the moment. 2 people have set 109.8 and 9. So you said they were going quicker, and they were definitely going quicker. Wow, that was intense. That was intense, not gonna lie. Can the other Alpine do any better as he starts off his lap? We've got, I think, to the Red Bulls.
There's a chance we should possibly go on board with Jas. With if you could. Last time he was on for a 9.5. Two people have now improved against him. This is probably going to be his last lap on the soft, you'd think. And maybe his last opportunity to grab a pole position.
Yeah, so we'll see what he could do then on those soft tyres. We'll see what his sector 2 time is as well, because that is where he can find the most time out of anyone else. So we will see as he goes through the swimming pool. 5 tenths down on his previous best, Jasper, at the moment. So he hasn't found the best time right now. But you never know, he could find in the final sector. Now he backs off. Okay. Anyone else improving? As
DNH Gel at the moment. He's coming in. He's just come out of the tunnel. We've seen what time he could do before. It's probably not been the cleanest lap as he has a little wobble there, and he knows he can do better, which will be frustrating for him, especially at a track like this where you need to nail your qualifying. And he's backed off even though he had a purple sector 2, so he knows he can go faster. And I'm surprised he's backed off there.
Yeah, to be honest, so am I. I'm quite surprised that he's backed off too. So he's going to find, I think, a bit more pace than that to get up near the top front. So 109's already at this late stage of qualifying. It's going to be tough for the likes of the people near the bottom to improve as well. And we're seeing the likes of Jordan as well, ERT Jordan. He hasn't even set a lap time yet, and he's still in the pit. So I wonder if he's going to be starting near the back of the grid, or if he doesn't want to do qualifying at all, which it can be quite common in the lower divisions, people not choosing to do qualifying. But it is good to set a lap anyway, just to get a feel for the track and to get a bit of practicing as well. So a lot of people are going out now for their final runs. So
Gel's got that purple sector 1 that he wanted. He's got a much better start, and we know he can get a purple sector 2 already. Gel could be looking here to absolutely batter the lap times.
Yeah, we will see then. So Gel currently sitting in P3. He was pole for pretty much most of the session. So we will see as he heads towards be careful, he doesn't run the walls. Purple sector 2. Purple sector 2.
This is going to be a lap time.
This is going to be pole. This surely is going to be pole position. He had a bit of a slide there just before he head towards Raskas. So I think this is going to be probably a slower time than he would expect him, but no, he's not. Wow.
Even with that shape.
In that final sector, 109.676. So I don't think he's going to go out again, but if he does, surely there's more time to find in that Red Bull.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. You think we're in Division 4 out of 5 divisions. That was not the cleanest lap by all means. Quite a scruffy second half of the lap, actually. And that's still a 9.6 on his second lap on the tyres. And he's not going to have time to go again. And now it's all down to Patsa Jasper and Aledi, who are coming out to start their runs. And Resify, they're the only people that can properly beat him. So they've got one shot to make this work now.
Yeah, they do. And I really don't know what's going to happen at this point. Let us know your predictions in chat, everybody. I know you think is going to be getting a pole position, as Jasper could be the man who beats him at the moment. As you head to past Sandevot at the moment, you'll be heading towards Casino Square very shortly.
When he's put it in the wall, he pushed too hard, and he won't be getting any higher than 3rd place.
What a shame for Aledi there, as he was looking quite quick. We even said before the broadcast, didn't we, that he was a driver to watch out for. He was a man on a mission, and you never know, his P3 could be enough, but his race pace may not be good, as he's probably going to be prone to more incidents. Slayer probably could be on his final lap now, or he probably will, maybe, I think, retire in the pit lane. So there he comes in. So yeah, that's going to be his final run there. There's a tyre.
Got to Patsa Japser, I'm sorry to cut in, you might want to push to him. He's got a purple sector 2, and we know Gel's last sector wasn't the cleanest. There's no wobble. This could be pole position, possibly.
This could be pole position. Up to the line he goes. It is pole! Almost in the 1/8, and he can't improve because he binned it in the wall. I think he just.
I think he celebrated too hard there.
Gel's retired.
That is
The
an
Letty's
absolute
retired.
flyer.
Gel's retired. The Letty's retired. So I think it's just Recify and ERT Jordan and Licks that could improve. And we'll see what Recify could do then. He's usually a good qualifier, but usually, don't forget, he's won one race this season, so he has time to improve on. Set to 2, only 10. Oh, no, he's not going to improve there. He's in the wall. And that was a nasty crash, and that's another retirement. That's not giving us hope about finishes in this Monaco race. Jordan can't improve. Well, he does improve, but doesn't improve to a 109 at the moment in 12th. Licks goes into the pit, so that is it then. That is it then for qualifying. Pastor Jasper is on pole position. I think my internet problem should be sorted now. But the Ferrari, is that his fault? I don't even know. I don't know why I'm asking you because I don't know how many poles people have got. But is this his first pole?
For Jackson, no. He's been at the front quite a bit. It's him and Aledi that have qualified near the front. Licks as well, but Licks really seems to have struggled here. That's probably the lowest he's qualified. He's really struggled, which is strange to see, but Monaco is one of those tracks. I think we can say, though, which is important to point out because we know how hard it is here. I think Ariel Jordan is the highest qualifying pad driver, which goes to show the top 8 are all on the wheel.
Yes.
Which for Monaco seems to be quite the advantage.
Yeah, going on a wheel around here, it's more advantageous. I just can't imagine driving on a pad around Monaco. It's just, I probably would make it pretty much half a lap and bin it and retire. But on a wheel, which is so much better, and you also have a setup too. And if these drivers don't have a setup either, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. But fair play to Jordan on a pad for getting the lap. He's even got the same lap time as Pole Depose. But I believe Pole Depose set the lap time first, so that's why he's qualified higher. But that's not the first time we saw that in LOE. So your qualifying results then.
What about on the mediums, actually?
On the mediums then. So he would have been, I think, near where Flip would if he did it on the softs. But starting on the mediums in the top 10, that was probably the best move for him. So Jasper on pole, Joe in second, Aledi in third, Recify in fourth, Slayer in fifth, Flip in sixth, Esteban in seventh, Pole Depose 8th, Jordan 9th, Ryan B 10th. They will start on the tyres they qualified on. Then we got Licks, Jordan, Storm, MCR, Lukey Boy and Sprunkle will be having 3 tyre choice. And then obviously we had quite a few people that binned it during qualifying. So they will be having quite a tough race, I have to say, if they don't avoid the wall. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll be heading to the race very shortly as well. I don't know how it's going to go because D4, again, it's another unpredictable division with 4 winners from 4 races so far.
Yeah, well, I think you can kind of look at this track a little bit like Imola. It's almost, they call Hungary, Monaco, with about the walls. I think Imola's quite similar with how thin and fast it is, and that's also one of those where the wheels kind of seems to have the advantage. And a lot of the similar drivers that were very good there have been very good here as well. I'll be interested to see how fast this front pack can break off, because obviously you want the qualifying gap for when you start to pit. You want that little window to be able to break out. You don't want to come out behind people. This could be very much being at the front. I don't know if you want to pull away too much, because the further you pull away, the more likely you to end up coming out behind people. What you say about at Monaco is the truth, because everyone piles up together. I think for this group it's going to be important to get damage, hope everyone else gets damage, and I think we could see someone for that reason, like a Jordan, get quite a good position if they don't get caught up in it.
Yeah, so we will look at the tyres then that everyone had chosen for the race. Quite a little bit of a spread at the moment, which is interesting to see. So we've got Licks on the mediums, as well as Storm, MCR and Lukey Boy. Once we've gone for the softs, interesting enough, outside the top 10, we've got ERT Jordan and we've got Sprunky at the moment. So they're thinking they could climb higher positions, or maybe they're predicting a early safety car. It's a little bit of a risk, if you ask me, going on to starting on the softs if you're outside the top 10. But if you get damage, it may not be the end of the world, because at least you've got a set of mediums and a set of hards in your back pocket to use, but if you're on the mediums, you have no option to go on to the hards, because obviously the soft won't make it to the end if you get damaged lap 1, for example. So, yeah, bit of a tough call if you ask me, but we will have to wait and see what happens. Let us know your predictions in chat, of course.
I'd like to just say one thing though, real quick, to the drivers that are listening. If you're racing, you've got the stream open. It's a very big help if you if you crash, to not just retire in the pits because of the glitches that are in the game of an AI car. It drives back out onto the track without ghosting, so we're going to have a very slow AI car blocking the track. So if possible, if you can, I know it can be a pain if you're 2-3 laps down, but if you can just carry on driving to avoid messing everybody else's races up, that would be very appreciated.
Yes, please. That will be brilliant. I think that would help us massively as well, and I think that goes for all divisions. So if you're racing in Division 5 in about an hour or so's time, or Division 2, follow our advice there as well. Do not retire in the pits. Just keep going if you can as well, because you never know. You can get points. So we are about to go underway for 5 red lights of Monte Carlo. And we are underway. Looks like Gel got a much better launch off the start, but can Pastor Jasper cover him off into turn 1? He does. And Sandevort, no, he rocks into Sandevort. Can we see a clean start? I think there was a few people that had a bit of a graze of the wall, but apart from that, a little bit cleaner than I thought. But watch when we head to Mirabeau at the moment, as I think we're seeing quite a few risky dive bombs at the moment as we head towards coming up towards the hairpin. We're going to probably have a queue on like the M25 at the minute, but it seems to be okay so far. We got a McLaren and an Alfa Romeo going side by side as well. Can he keep it on his line as well? MTR does it up to 13th place. I hardly can make an overtake work like that. So great job for him so far. No major instance so far. I think the Hassa had a bit of an off was Storm, and he's back into 12th position. And Letty, even though he binned it, he's still qualified in a good position even before his crash. He's still in 3rd position at the moment. He's trying to avoid the wall as much as possible now. He's probably got his qualifying crash on his mind, but the top 3 have not changed at the moment. Jasper still 1st, Gel still 2nd, and Aledi still 3rd.
Yeah, and look at the gap they've started to pull already. They're already breaking that DRS gap, and if them 3 can just drive off, they could really help each other pull a little bit of a gap, and when it comes to the qualifying window, that could be very important. Overall, a very clean start actually. It's very good to see. I think the one person that got caught out in that was Jordan. Storm, Jordan and Sprunky are all pitting, of course, but I saw ERT Jordan, he dropped down the field quite a lot, so for the most part now, they're back up. Most people was quite clean, and these mediums, they will go to the end. They're just going to feel terrible, so they'll be hoping for a safety car at some point.
Yes, you can make it last 34 laps if you're lucky. The lifespan on, according to my data, says for 29 laps, but I had some people make it towards 34 laps around here as well, so it can be done. You just got to manage your tyres quite nicely as well, and you're going to probably make sure that you don't get involved in the carnage then. So DRS then will be activated very, very shortly, so make sure you stay involved.
And we've got our first DNF.
Lukey Boy has retired in the swimming pool section, I think. Yes, he did retire in the swimming pool section. And are we going to get a safety car? I don't think so.
Well, that is something we were going to point out before. This track has a weird glitch. I don't know why. But if you're not on,
cars.
yeah, if you're not on increased, the safety car refuses to come out. It's very, very rare a safety car comes out if it's not set to increased. So the issue is now, really, it probably helps a lot because nobody wants to see a race full of safety cars. It ruins it, as long as the car's not in the track, of course, which is not actually in the way, which is good for us. Obviously, these back runners, it's not good for them. They'll be hoping for one. But if you look how many people are in the race now, 15, and in League of Europe, the top 12 start to get points. So essentially, you just need 3 more people to crash out, and you're guaranteed a point, which is why we were saying earlier it's so important to stay in. I know last time I did League of Europe, Division 2 Monaco, I was 2.5 laps down. I pitted 9 times for a new wing, and I finished 2 places outside of the points. So it's very cool. You can get points from any situation here, so that's why it's really important just to stick in, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I finished a Baku race and there was only 5 finishers. Monaco, I think there was a Monaco race where there was 12 finishers and I got points because of it. As we also got another retirement and we're just getting the commentator's curses right there. He's binned it. Oh, a very weird place to bin it, does Spunky, but he's down in 15th position as Jordan's hit the wall again. As not that much damage, I think, for Jordan, so he's going to carry on. He's having a nice battle with Storm right now. We're having a nice train forming at the moment between Jasper, Gel, and Gel, actually. And Aleli is still trying to catch up. He's actually the trolley train between himself, Slayer, Versify, and Flip as well. These drivers have been in the wars. Hopefully they do not want to be in the wars here tonight as well, because one small mistake from any one of those drivers could contain a Concertina effect. And we already got our first penalty, actually, from Gel. It must have been the tunnel where we, just after the tunnel where we got it, or maybe even the swimming pool section, I don't know. But even on increased, a safety car only came out once in a simulation race, a 50% race. It only came once at lap 20, so I have to agree, safety cars are, even though it's quite easy to get damaged, safety cars, they just don't want to come out. As Ryan B heads to the pit, so he's probably got damage. Careful, Slayer, as Recify almost had a moment there as well. We got Flip trying to go side by side there. You don't really want to go side by side there where people could be getting damaged, but we know Flip likes to take risks around here. He could take a risk on the inside. No, he does not. Thinks better of it as well. We are starting to see people make risks here as well, but the question is, will it pay off, or will they just prefer to just be in this race and be scoring decent points? We're already down to 15 drivers. Ryan is on mediums, which guarantee I think will get to the end with a bit of a push. Right now we got licked on the back of Jordan on the mediums, actually. So one of the softs are struggling.
Flip has hit his back wheel on, as it's quite a common thing to do, is hit his back wheel as he comes into the chicane. He's probably going to lose a position to Stephen. No, Stephen's going to back out of that. Smart enough. And Flip's now hit the wall and it's all gone downhill for him.
Yeah, but it's got way downhill for the Alpine driver. So I did say he was doing quite well, but he just
that's been the issue with him most of the season, because he's down in 18th place. He's not scored a point yet, and it's one of those situations where right now he was sat in 6th, and for him he should be thinking this is a great, compared to the rest of his season, that's pretty good. You don't need to push him much more, and he was trying to get a bit too much, I think, there, and he's found himself onto the hards now, putting on a new wing. And we're looking at the front. I think what we're seeing at the moment is people trying to take advantage of Mr. Wouter not being here. Obviously, he's top of the championship by quite a margin, 16 points. And it's been common knowledge now, he said it in the interview last week, he will not be here for Monaco or Britain. So that's 2 races where these drivers will be thinking, we can close the gap and maybe take first in the championship. So I think we're seeing a few people trying to seize an opportunity, and Monaco's one of those races where you don't have much space to try seize that opportunity.
Yeah, quite a few people, I think, could gain quite a lot from this as well, with obviously Bowser not being here. But so there's some people that have had the luxury of having the championship leader not being there, but they're not being able to capitalise on it, and they probably regretted it, and then the championship leader just runs away with it as well. So pretty much, I think the pressure might be off for them, but you still got to have that kind of pressure on your shoulders a little bit too before, because you never know, there could be people behind you that could capitalise and take your position in the championship, so they can capitalise on your mistakes rather than you capitalising on the championship leader. As we're seeing Slayer into the pits then with a damaged front wing. How many front wings I think are we going to see tonight in total? I don't know. How many pit stops are we going to see? Like we said earlier, Nolan pitted 9 times in Monaco. I think the most I've ever pitted around Monaco was 5 times, so not quite Nolan's scale. As have we got damage from someone? Jordan's in the pits actually, so that's another pit stop for him.
I'll tell you one thing that could look very interesting. We were saying at the start we've had 4 separate winners. Pat Sir Jasper's 3rd in the championship, and he's got that from just being consistently near the front. He's essentially, with that penalty, he's got a 5.5 second gap to 2nd place, with 3rd place being 6.4 seconds behind him. It looks at the moment, bar any damage, like it could be a comfortable win for Japser, and that would make him the 5th winner in 5 races for D4. So it just goes to show, every race we have no idea what to expect. his race, he seems quite dominant at this track at the moment. His main focus will be now thinking, the drivers behind me, there's already a gap formed because a lot of people are pitted for damage. He essentially has to wait for, at the moment, Resify or Polypose to pit. Polypose on the mediums, which might throw a spanner in the works there.
He's doing quite well as well.
He's doing very well, and he's also causing a big issue for the drivers like Gel and Japser, because if they pit, they're going to come out behind him, and he's not going to be pitting for quite a while on those mediums, so they will be stuck behind him. So
another retirement!
Oh, Ryan's gone as well.
He's retired in the pits, I think, which we told the drivers to not do, and he's done it. And there's
his car's going to come out, is it?
We'll ride on board with Jordan actually, because there's not many battles happening anyway. Actually, there's a battle with Licks potentially happening in the tunnel. So we'll ride
Luckily,
on board
it's
with
not
him.
come out.
Is he actually going to go for a move on the inside? He thinks about it. He's right on Jordan's gearbox right now, but can't get quite past it. No, there was no safety car because Ryan B retired in the pits. So that's why there's no safety car. I don't know why he chose to give up at this point, but he probably realised there wasn't enough tyres left.
The thing is, there's with him staying, there was 14 people. He needed 2 people to crash, which is very likely with 30 more laps to go, and he's got a point. So I don't understand the point of leaving there when you can score points in the race.
Jordan was, I think, the second or third time that he's pitted, and look where he is. 1 place more, and you'll get point. So, you know, it just shows that you do not give up. So if you're in this race and any just watching the stream, tell your driver just to keep going, because if your one more person crashes now, that's it. You'll be getting points if you finish. So even if you're a few laps down, just do it at the moment. And that is quite a queue in the hairpin there with Jordan and Licks as well. And look at where MCR is. He's right on the back of this. Licks is in a McLaren sandwich as well, and McLaren could score quite decently here if they could keep this up. Licks, though, a little bit further back to make a move. This is the only move that are happening at the moment. And with Licks on the medium, so is MTR. They haven't pitted yet. Pretty much the top 9 have been the only drivers who have kept it clean, either had no damage or enough damage for them to stay out, and they've been able to keep on with their strategy as planned. But there could be someone, when their tyres start to go, in particular the mediums or the softs, they could start to die very quickly, and that's when the mistakes may start to occur as well. But look at the gap that Jasper's pulling on Gel. It's amazing. But Gel's pulling a great gap to Aledi as well. So the top 2, no, they're not just running away with it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you were pointing out that what's happening here with Jordan and Licks. This is exactly what I was saying about if Japser or Gel pit, they've got to worry about Polypose. They're going to come out at the moment behind him, and if that's the case, we're seeing Licks here. He's much faster than Jordan, but you can't find a way past, and they're stuck out on the track because they have to wait for Polypose for them to either pull a gap on him, but by now the mediums will be faster, or for them to have enough time where he's going to pit. So the issue is with Polypose going for those mediums, it's great for him, but these soft runners have to stay out because Polypose is just going to hold them up and they're going to cost them time essentially.
Yeah, they've got to really. They've got to pretty much play the strategy by ear, because otherwise they're going to just lose so much time right now. Just if they let Polypose get even closer, because he could be on a gold mine. Polypose doesn't have to pit until lap 24 at the earliest, and then he could go on softs until the end of the race. But everybody else, pretty much on the softs around about from P1 to P4, and obviously Esteban and Jordan, they will have to pit onto the mediums. They can pit any time from now. Any time from now, they could come into the pits, go onto mediums, and that will get to the end quite comfortably without any punches. So. But I'm surprised. Yeah,
they're just waiting for him. I think that's what they're worried about.
So. Yeah, they are worried about the Alfa Romeo at the moment, and I do believe he's won a race so far. So he could be one of our first repeat winners, which will be great to see. So let's see what Jasper does. He stays out. Zhao's in. Zhao is in the pits.
This is a big move. Okay, right. Well, we're going to see what's going to happen here. He's 5 seconds behind the leader. And we're going to see what happens. He's going to come out behind Polypoles, possibly ahead of Steven, I think. So we're going to see how long it takes for him to catch up to Polypoles and if he gets held behind. And I think Japster will be keeping an eye out here. I don't think he'll be too worried about the undercut. The thing is with an undercut here, because of this very scenario, this could actually hurt Gel and Aledi.
Yes, it could. And I think this is a track as well where, like, if you come out in traffic, you're in trouble. But Gel, well, he's going to catch up to Polypose quite soon. But he doesn't have anyone directly.
I think Aledi had a wing change.
Him. He might have a wing change, actually. So
he must have done. He's down in 9th place, so that probably explains why he dropped off. And now, well, everyone now guaranteed points. And that's why you stay in, because Jordan, look how far down he is. He's going to score points from this race.
And he's done 2 stops already, and he's not giving up, which, to be fair, is a good example. And Storm is another driver that's retired in the pits. That's all the retire. I think, apart from Lukey Boy and Sprunky, that been there, I think, almost at the same sector. Quite close to the same sector, actually. I think it was Lukey Boy was in the swimming pool, Sprunky was just after the tunnel. But
hold on, Polypoles is going to come ahead of Japser. He has, and that's going to be the issue now. He's come ahead of Japser.
Yeah, that is a big issue there.
And Gel's just made it past. I think.
Gel, that was amazing there. Nicely timed there as well. But Jasper's got not just 1, but 2 cars to worry about now.
Did he hit his wing doing that?
I don't know. It was hard to tell there.
He pushed very hard to get past Polypoles. I think he hit the wall but got away with no damage. He does have a penalty. So, and Japser probably not be worried too much because obviously he knows. But now they're going to be stuck behind Japser, and unless they get a very, very good run, they can't really do anything until Polypoles pits, which is exactly what we were talking about before. And this gives Slayer possible. Well, it depends actually. It depends when Licks pits. But drivers like they have a very good chance to start closing a gap now.
Yeah, this could give Slayer a good chance as well, because don't forget he pitted earlier on for damage, and he's been on his tired 6 laps now, and he hasn't had. And
Slayer's going to go for a move on Licks actually. No, he's going to back out of it, and we were saying that before. I'm sorry to cut in there with Aledi. Aledi's he actually got a move done on MCR. That's a brilliant move. He's got an overtake at Monaco, believe it or not. But
hey,
we saw him backing off, dropping off from the front too. He must have picked up very light damage. He has to get past another 3 people. He's just shown he can overtake at Monaco. The issue is here. There's a 3-person train. He won't have the room. I personally think, as one of them goes into the pits actually, Licks goes in. I personally think Aledi might have been better staying out and just keeping the damage. He'd have been in 3rd. He was clearly managing okay anyway. And he'd have caught up to this train that's getting held up by Polypoles.
Yeah, that is the danger. I don't know. I think some people the undercut works, for some people it does not. It does depend on the pace as well. No safety cars thus far. Licks then comes out in 11th position. But still points. So
yeah, and just look at this train at the front. Polypoles, there's nothing these 2 drivers can do. They're so much faster, but they just can't get past, and frustration is going to kick in at some point, which could lead to some mistakes. Polypoles here can stay out for as long as he wants, to be honest. As long as these mediums feel nice for him, he can stay out, hope these 2 make mistakes. And someone like Aledi and Resify, they need to get past Slayer as fast as they possibly can and start making. Even Slayer, to be honest, he's in a great position. They need to catch up to this train. They've got a big gap.
Ooh, Jow, jeez, he almost went for the move to Sandavot there. You could tell he's frustrated, isn't he, to try and get the move, because he knows that Polypoles has to pit, but he doesn't want to get held up because Jasper may try and move. Slayer may catch up quite soon as well. Speaking of Slayer, he's got Reservoir over the back of him. Oh, Slayer's gone deep. Reservoir's gone for the move to Sandavot. Yeah, he does. An overtake in Monaco, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting to have more overtakes now. This is great. Reservoir into 4th place, and he's got clear air in front of him, which should help him for the rest of the race. And he's going to have to push. He's going to have to push now because Slayer and Aledi are still behind him. He's got to make sure that he can clear. He's already almost within a second clear of them almost. It's going to be a second heading towards the tunnel. Just watch.
Yeah, and Aleddy's going to get the move. I think he's got a better exit. He has done. Aleddy's probably going to get past Slayer here inside the tunnel. And now this is going to be a hunt. They've got to catch Gel and Japser as fast as they can. As Gel and Japser actually, they're going side by side. It's a 3-man side by side. They're touching. They've got into the pits. Gel's got damage.
I literally just caught the aftermath of that. But Jasper stays in the lead. Polder Post comes in. Yeah, they probably both got damage. Gel has got damage. Polder Post got damage as well. Softs? I don't recommend softs at this stage. I would go hards.
Yeah, the issue there is, well, I don't think he should have picked yet, to be honest. But
well, no, he got damage. He had no other choice.
Yeah, I think the issue at that point was Gel and Jap, they got behind, they got too frustrated, but it was their own fault. They pitted, they knew what the situation was going to be. They tried the undercut on Japser, they pitted too early. And I think Gel, because he had those 3 seconds, was thinking, if I can get past Polypoles and he holds up Japser, I can pull this 3-second gap. And in the end, it's cost him. And Japser now is back into P1. Look how much time Resify and Aleddy closed, by the way. They pulled like 4 seconds in 1 lap because they were held up.
Yeah.
So if that would have worked and they didn't get a penalty, we could have seen quite a scrap at the front. And I think just because of their pit strategy, they've messed themselves up a bit there.
Yeah, I think quite a few people have messed up at the moment. As Jasper said in the fast lap of the race, it makes me feel quite sad because that is what I could do mainly in qualifying most of the time. So that just shows how quick some of these drivers are around it. But on lap 17 of 39. Not quite halfway yet. It is a shorter lap due to the fact that, longer lap. Well, there's loads of laps because it's a shorter lap. That's what I was trying to say. Is MCR comes in for hard tyres. I think it's just strategy, not damage. Yes, it is strategy. So he thinks that he doesn't want to go on softs now, and yeah, he's been keeping it clean. Not gonna lie, he's been keeping it clean. But I thought he would have stayed out for a bit longer to go on softs lap 24, but obviously not.
Yeah, there's a few weird strategy calls now. I wonder whether people know about the safety car glitch. I wonder if they're banking on one and it's not going to come. But you were saying before how Polypole shouldn't have gone to the softs, and I'll tell you why I agree with you. He is stuck behind a hard runner right now. The tyre advantage is only worth it if you're going to have clean air.
Yeah.
He's got a hard runner with 2 compounds higher who he can't get past because there's just no room to. So he's going to get no benefit from them.
Hamilton was on mediums, Verstappen was on softs.
Yeah, you just don't get a benefit from them. The issue is now he's going to find himself having to pit again, and there's people just throwing away. I guess you're guaranteed points, but in a week where, for instance, Wouter's not here, the championship leader isn't here, you can score high points. As we've got another crash by Licks, who's DNF.
Oh, he hasn't made those many mistakes. Oh, that is not a pit lane retirement at all. That was just after the tunnel chicane. Oh, that's a shame, which means now we got down to 11 runners. Well, at least I think every division is going to have something similar at the moment, I think, with the amount of finishers. So obviously we'll keep an eye on the other divisions as well. But Jordan's actually looking quite good on warm hards at the moment. But again, he's stuck behind a hard runner that's just pitted. So he's got a lot of work to do on that front. Polar Pose is trying to get past Flip, and yeah, he must be on high tyre wear at the moment, like he said as well, with Flip being behind. But then after that, he's going to have some clear air anyway. So as long as Polar Pose gets past Flip, then that should be fine. But he's going to have a go on a tyre-saving spree at the moment. He's got Gel as well behind. So three-way fight. This could be 3 abreast again. Hopefully, this will go better than the past few laps. Gel almost hitting the wall.
Oh, and he's done it again.
He's hit Polar Pose. Oh my God, as I just said, what could happen?
The same thing has happened again. He hit Polar Pose last time.
Gel's out the race.
And now he's retired.
He's retired in the pits as well. Polar Pose just kept going, so how did he get away with that? So it might just be rear wing damage.
He just got hit off the line, to be honest. I don't think he hit the wall, or he might have hit it very lightly. He just had to slam on the brakes, essentially. And that's Gel out the points when he had P2 essentially in the bag, which just goes to show that patience at Monaco is more important than pace.
Exactly, and I would have kept going. I wonder if Gel surely would have had a hard tyre still to run. It wouldn't have been ideal, but again,
He'd have had points.
still points. Yeah,
For a driver that doesn't have any points yet, that would have been massive. But
I think maybe some people are forgetting that top 12 score points in this league, but
there's 20 laps left. Like, we've had 6 people DNF, and we're halfway through. You never know how many people are going to crash. You could find yourself, if you carry on, you could finish 6th or 5th place.
You could get your best result in League of Europe this season just by finishing. Jordan hasn't made many moves on track. He's benefited from people DNFing.
Well, that's why I remember saying to you at the start, I could see Jordan getting a decent result here just because he sees races out. He's got a decent gap behind him, a decent gap in front of him. He's just racing his race. Probably not going as fast as he could do, but he has no need to. He's just going to carry on driving around and get points because of that.
Yeah, I think both the Jordans are doing quite well, to be fair. So I have to say, the Jordan club must be very, very happy right now. Aledi, though, he's doing a lot better than he's doing in qualify. You can see the Rectify is derating in front of him. So surely that would mean Aledi would want to try and close up and go for the move probably into turn 1. I think turn 1 would be the only move you would go for, to be honest, and maybe after the tunnel as well, but we will see. Aledi will get those tyres again, same with Rectify. Jordan is in there, so I think he either got damage or maybe it's a strategic call and wanted to get on the hard. It might be a strategic call because he was so far back anyway. He just said, what's the point?
Well, I think he's thinking, I've got points.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's either his 3rd or 4th stop. Hold on. 3rd stop. And he's still going. And so is Slayer as well, to be fair. So Slayer's another driver that's running his own race as well. That could be on for a good result. I'll actually check now. Division 3 has had only I think only 3 or 4 retirements so far. Same with Division 1. So I think we're doing the worst in terms of retirements. But the lower division, to be fair, the worst retirements can be, mainly because of the lack of experience in Monaco, or maybe just people don't like Monaco.
It's very satisfying to see that Division 3 are also on lap 21, so we're at the exact same period of the race, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think the difference between Division 3 and Division 4 is we have a 20-second gap between 1st and 2nd. Patsa Japsa has absolutely dominated this race from start to finish.
He's nailed it, hasn't he? He's probably one of the only drivers to not make a mistake this race.
Well, that's the thing. He got stuck behind pody poles with Gel, and we saw the difference. Gel was desperate to get past pody poles. Jasper just kind of sat there and waited.
Jasper knew that pody poles was going to come in soon, so he knows that I'll pick my own battles. I'll overtake him when he goes into the pits, and that is exactly what he done, and that's why he's leading the race. He's currently sitting 3rd, and don't forget Lix, who's in 2nd place in the championship. He's also DNF'd. So 2 championship runners have contention for this Monaco race already. Jasper sitting in 3rd. Ooh. This could be huge. He can jump Lix. He could jump Lix. And hold on, let me do the maths.
We still have a race in our hands. Oh, dearie me. We still have a race in our hands here. We've got Aledi and Resify, 2nd and 3rd. 2 drivers that we pointed out at the beginning for being very fast. They very much have a fight for 2nd on their hands there.
Yeah, if Jasper wins, he would lead the championship by 1 point. He would lead the championship by 1 point. But Resify and Aledi could catch up as well in their respective positions in the championship. Resify could jump Steve, who I believe Steve's not here tonight. Nope, he's not. He could possibly jump MCR as well, just a little bit, because there's a 3-point difference between them as well. So plenty of top 10 positions to be decided, but the ones that have not scored are probably not benefited. Obviously, Jao was a reserve. Spronky, I think, is reserve. Yes, he is reserve. Same with Lukey as well. So we've had 3 reserves out, 3 full-time drivers out, and I believe the rest...
I'll tell you what, Steben's in 4th. He's going to pull off some decent points here. He's in 6th, which is still a decent set of points.
No points at all. He's finished every race. He's finished every race, but not scored points. So I think his advantage so far this season has been finishing races even when the going gets tough. He's been on those tyres for 70 laps. I do believe he had to pit early for damage. And he can technically go on softs now. So Flip.
I mean, I tell you what he's doing here, which would be very good. He's holding up these cars behind him. I mean, there's not many, but there's Sofra and Podipos, which we said before, he can't get past. This is a very, very good race for Alpine in the constructors, because his driver ahead of him is Aledi, who is his teammate. As long as people are behind Namsram, Aledi's in the clear. Aledi's, at some point, you think, probably going to try get second. Him and Resify have been side by side for the whole race at the moment. I wonder whether Aledi will go for this, or maybe go for the smart move and settle for third. I think in this situation at Monaco, I'm thinking I've got a podium. Do I want to risk crashing out? Unless it's a very obvious overtake, I think I'm staying in third here.
Yeah, I think the only time you can go for an overtake, I think, for Resify, in my opinion, is if he goes wide. So if he goes wide here, for example, then he could go for the move. But Aledi's last result, it was in Austria, he finished third. So he could equal his best result of the season. He was in Division 5 last season. He finished third overall in that. He's currently sitting P11 overall in Division 4 at the moment. To be fair, another podium would jump him up quite a lot in the championship as well, with a few people missing, and a few people DNFing. So, I have to agree with you. I would stay in P3 because the gap behind is absolutely massive. And what's more, Alpine could be on for a winner as well. Alpine could be on for some massive points as well, with Aledi in third and Flip in fourth.
Well, with Aledi, one thing I will point out, his results do not show just how good he's been. So the first race of the season, it was Imola. He qualified on pole, but had a 5-second grid penalty, and then he got caught up in damage from that. So he was the fastest in qualifying there. He looked very good. He didn't start the second race. I can't comment what happened on Portugal, because obviously I wasn't there for that week. And Austria, he should have won it, but he decided to stay out for an extra 6 laps on his tyres for no reason and lost first place. But he showed that he has the pace to be on the podium every single week. And that right now he's faster than Resify. It's very clear he's faster. He just can't find a way past. So if he can, maybe on the exit out of the corner coming up, this might be one of the examples he waits for a move. That's where he got it done last time. Him there, Namstram in fourth on the hards, which for a man that's not scored points yet, on the hard tyres at Monaco, he's in the top 4. You have to give him everything but praise.
Yeah, and to be fair as well, he's got Esteban that's 5.4 seconds behind. That is, I think, huge in Monaco. And then there's Jordan 19 seconds back, because Aledi almost had a slide there. As well as we were talking about, Flip, he gets a penalty, which I think it must have been just after the tunnel. Because otherwise,
we did say he loves his penalties.
He loves his penalties, doesn't he, around Monaco? I think, for me as well, if there's a track that I get a penalty, one of which is Monaco, and I think another one is like Mexico as well. So,
oh, Mexico! Oh no!
Yeah, I only got one penalty around here, but I never avoid no penalties at all. But yeah, Monaco's a track where it's just hard to slow down at the tunnel section sometimes, and you just lose. I sometimes miss my braking point at some point, and that's why I keep getting penalties. But I think that's what we saw Flip do just now at the moment. So, lap 26. We just saw pole to post pit for a set of mediums, so that will go to the end. I think he was meant to go onto the medium for the sim before, but he didn't realise as pole to post gets past Jordan up into P6 into Sander Bot. This was an example where Jordan made a mistake. Pole to post said, "Thank you very much, I'm on the fresher tyres, you went wide, I will get the position." So there we go. As Aledi then. Aledi just buying his time right now. He's even just staying a bit further back at the moment. I think he's realised he's picked this battle, and he's only waiting for Resify to make a mistake. Because of the gap he's got behind, there's just no point. Look at that, he's just saving his tyre life as well. So that is a good strategy call from Aledi at the moment, because he realises that P1 is out of reach. 23.5 seconds. He realises P2 could probably be off the cards, and the only way you could get P2 is force Resify into getting a penalty.
Yeah, and for something that I could, for those that care about the Constructors' Championship, it's very interesting to look at it now. One Red Bull driver remains, he's in 9th. Both Mercedes drivers are out. McLaren are having a decent race, but Ferrari are in 3rd. It looks like they're going to take the lead of the Constructors if things stay as they are, with Japsa in 1st place and Stephen having a very respectable race in 5th at the moment. he may be looking at possibly getting fourth with Philip's penalty if he can get into range. So the Ferraris are having a very good race. They could have, by the end of this race, Japsa could be leading the constructors and the drivers.
That'll be insane. And to be honest, you want to win the drivers, but you want to do well in the constructors as well. So Ferrari will score double here, so will McLaren, and so will Alpine. And obviously AlphaTauri, they will score points with Reservoir. Aston Martin will score points with Jordan. Red Bull, they will score points with Slayer. So there will be no points for Williams, no points for Haas. Yeah, no points
That's
for Haas.
normal.
No points for Alfa Romeo, but because of Luki retire. Actually, no points for Alfa Romeo. I missed him. There we go. Yeah, there will be points for Alfa Romeo. So 2 teams not scoring any points. Not good, but it's still a long season still to go. Like you said, we got Silverstone next week, which is a track that probably is much better to overtake than Monaco. And
2 very different tracks, isn't it, really? I think Silverstone is very, very open and wide, and we go from Monaco. We're going to see a complete change in mentalities there, but people have done quite well the last 10 laps. I think they're starting to realise we've got points now. There's not as many risks being taken. I think the only place we may see some action is Aledi keeps eyeing up a move on Resify. He's waiting for a mistake. Resify is locking up quite a lot, and I think Aledi is just waiting to see when he can get a move done, but there's a few times when I've seen Aledi maybe trying to push for a move too much. He's lost his back end and had to recover it. So this all depends on what his aspirations are and whether he's happy with third or he wants to push for that second place.
Yeah, we shall see. But I think if he goes for the move, he'll probably go for it last minute, to be honest with you. He won't go for it now. He knows that he could pick his own battles soon as well. We'll look at the positions gained, actually, because that is interesting. We haven't talked about it a whole race. MCR has gained the most out of everybody. That's gained 6. Slayer's been the only one that's dropped down, position out the ones who have still in this race, dropped down 4. Patzer and Rectify, well, Jasper and Rectify stay where they are. No, Jasper and Aledi stay where they are, sorry. Everyone else has gained at least 2 positions, so quite a topsy-turvy race for some people, but it just shows, obviously, if you keep it on the road, you would aim quite big here as well, and obviously, Flip hasn't scored any points yet. Jordan's actually got for the move on Slayer then. So did Slayer make a mistake there, probably? Or did Slayer let Jordan through? Probably because Jordan's got a penalty. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but Jordan's not up tonight, but he does have a 3-second time penalty, so Slayer will be ninth, and even if Jordan gets past MTR, he will still be, I think, 10th at the moment, unless Jordan can break away from these guys.
I tell you what, we were talking about the gaps. 26 seconds to second place.
Stop.
He is absolutely flying right now. Japsa is honestly looking rapid. We're seeing in Division 1, Justas is 18 seconds ahead of second. And then you think, well, that's incredible. You look at this, 26 seconds.
Oh no! Slayer's binned it! After the tunnel. He's gonna get.
He's kept it though.
Is he gonna get lapped? Yeah, he's gonna get lapped.
He's gonna get lapped as long as he doesn't DNF, which he hasn't done. He's not going to lose anything. He's in 10th. He's going to pit. He'll still be in 10th.
He could go for fastest lap because there's 10 runners. You got to be in the top 12 to do so, and he will be in the top 12. So go for soft if you have any left.
I tell you what, I'm looking at Patz's pace. Even on those mediums at 18 laps, I think he might still lap faster. This is one of the best performances I've seen in Division 4. This is probably the most dominant performance in Division 4 I've seen, and this could completely change momentum. I'm sure Wouter will be looking at this now thinking, I need to get back for Britain. Because this man, if he performs like this next week, he could completely change the title race.
I think Wouters probably regrets missing the next 2 races, to be honest with you. But we have told the drivers who are close to Wouter in the championship, capitalise on him not being it. Jasper is doing exactly that. And he's just showing that he could be a championship contender too, so brilliant job from him. And Slayer is still going, woo! So that's good. And he's gone onto the tyre that I thought he was going to go onto the softs. So he's going to the end. I think nobody else is going to retire, to be honest, because they know there's points on offer. So if he gets fastest lap, he'll be on the same points as the RT Jordan. So he would probably not lose anything if he goes for it, to be honest. I wonder if people have a big gap to go. So anyway, as Jordan goes for a move to Sandevort on the left-hand side, he goes. Does he make it stick?
Well, he's got it done.
Does. What a
I
move
tell you what,
there.
Jordan's got quite a few little slick moves this race.
I've seen him race in Monaco before. He's been excellent in terms of moves. He must have been practicing quite a lot. You can tell who was practicing and who hadn't. So Jordan's probably made the most moves this race, and he's gained the most positions so far now. Up 4. Can he... let me check how many penalties he's got. He's only got 3, so... And he's on fresher tyres as well. So if he could get within 3 seconds of MCR, he should be fine and be in 8th position, which I have to say would be a big... I believe he only joined the league last week, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. Let me have a look. Yeah, he only joined the league last week. Hasn't scored any points yet. And that's his goal for tonight, is to get points and finish. Player's goal is to beat REL Jordan. Well, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Jasper's goal is to not DNF. Well, he's not DNFing, he's doing very well. And Aledi is to be patient and careful and hoping to finish within top 5. And Aledi's in the top 3 right now.
Oh, Aledi putting the power down a bit too much, trying to get past Reservoir there, and he was inches away from losing a wing. He had a complete bin slide there coming out the last corner, and he just about saved it. If this man was on a pad, he'd have been into the wall there. There's no recovering that on a pad.
That was so close from Aledi. That could have almost been curtains up for the Alpine driver, but how on earth did he keep it just surviving there as well? Jordan, ERT Jordan is now within 3 seconds, so which is good at the moment for him. So he can just focus on getting to the end of this race and not get any more penalties. Aladi's a little bit too further back to get the move. He's within out of DRS range anyway. There's only one DRS range around this whole circuit as well, so that will be quite intriguing as well. Jasper's going to be within 30 seconds of the whole field at this rate. Who's lap? Let me just see who's lap.
His fastest lap is an 11.5, and the next fastest lap is a 12.5. His fastest lap is a second faster than the person with the second fastest lap. So he's actually going to be 2 points ahead of Walter.
That's a few tenths faster than my PB in quali. Oh my goodness.
An 11.5 in the race. Safe to say, I don't even think if someone pits on the softs on the last 2 laps, I don't think they're going to beat that. I think he's got that in the bag, which would put him, bar any mistakes in these last few laps, 2 points into the lead of the championship.
Oh yeah, because of the fastest lap. Oh, Slayer does it. Nobody's just said that.
Slayer's on a fresh set of softs, so he steals it. Never mind. 11.1, and that's a
game on.
The fact that Japs is, I think he could pit. If Japsa wanted to risk it,
he should pit. Like, he's got the gap.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to push and risk crashing into a wall and losing first.
That is a good point. 1:12.6
for 1 point when he knows Walter's not going to be there next week as well.
Yeah, I see what you mean. If Walter was here next week, then probably he would pit. But since Walter is not here next week, he's not. So
yeah, I think he could get the fastest lap. But just imagine you crash on that push lap.
Yeah, that will just probably be a regret. And speaking of fast lap, I believe MCR is going to be doing exactly the same thing, going on softs. Yeah. If the gap is too further back from your nearest rival, why not go over softs, try and get that extra point. We can see a good battle for fastest lap rather than overtakes at the moment.
I think we could see Slayer pit again maybe for another set of softs if this carries on.
Well, it depends if he has any softs left, because don't forget they only have a few amount of softs for the race and for the weekend. So.
He's going to be stuck behind MCR, so that's not going to be doable. And
no.
I think the thing is now with these guys, like Patsa Japsa is going to have a few demons in his head now, thinking I could get this if I wanted it. Do I want to risk it?
31.3 seconds between Jasper and Recify. What was his 1:12.994? So he's not quite at the pace. only the top 6 are within the lead lap at the moment. From P7 downwards, they're a lap down. Which, to be fair, at least nobody's not 2 laps down. But I think Slayer could be on the cusp of being 2 laps down anyway. So, there we go. So, I think if he wanted to go for fastest lap, he would have gone now. So, he's still going.
And Slayer's hit the wall. And he needs to be careful. You don't want to DNF this. I mean, what is it, 95% that you have to complete?
90%, I don't know.
90%. I think everyone at this point, I think they've got points. I think even if they DNF now, I think they've got the points.
We will see. I don't know. Oh, what's happened to Esteban? He's made a mistake. He's got front wing damage as well. Is the pressure starting to fall on these drivers, making more mistakes? I think so. Slayer's gonna... No, Slayer could be ahead. I don't know. Esteban could be... Esteban's a lap down now. Esteban. So only now the top 5 are on the lead lap. Let me get the interval so I can go on board with Aledi and Recify. And we could have a battle between the 2 Jordans. So, when's the last time we've seen a battle between 2 drivers with the same name? I don't know. It is the battle of who's the best at the moment. But, I don't know. Jordan's on... Ariel Jordan is on the warmest tyres. Jordan's on the fresher tyres. But remember what we saw with Senna and Mansell, Hamilton and Verstappen, Hamilton and Ricciardo. The one who's ahead is the one that's more than likely going to score better. And even... But ERT Jordan's made moves in this race quite comfortably. But he's been a patient boy, hasn't he? He's only made moves if he could go for it. He doesn't take any risks. He only if he sees an opportunity, he goes for it.
Yeah, I think that's the way to be at Monaco, and we're on about fastest lap before. Stevens out on those softs. I think he could possibly go for the fastest lap. We can see how he's going to do. We've got a couple more laps left. It's looking like Japs is not going to go for it. He's probably playing the safe route there. Maybe he wants to flex on how far ahead he can finish ahead of second. But Aledi, I want to point out, he's back into the range of an overtake. And if he's going to go for it, he's going to have 1 or 2 laps left. This could be interesting to see whether he goes for that second place or not. The last few times he's tried, he's almost put it in the wall himself, which might have scared him from going for it.
Yes,
he's very close behind him, though.
He is very close. I think Aledi wants to go for the move now. I think he's thinking of it. He's got the run. Here he goes. Is he gonna go? No. Phenomenal lap, to be fair. He was a lot closer than he was like 10 laps ago. He knows it's do or die, but you don't really want to hit a wall. I don't know what I don't know what I would do, but I would take third, to be honest, because that's 15 championship points compared to 0 if you retire. So, or would it be 3 points? Because if you DNF, you'll still finish. If that makes sense. I don't know. It depends on how many laps has been completed, but...
Well, I think by now, even if it was 95%, everyone's guaranteed the points now. They've finished enough laps. So, screw it. You go for the fastest lap.
Yeah, go for it. And if they bin it, then they'll still get points regardless anyway. So, we'll see what happens anyway. It's 2 great battles, and then I wonder if Jasper's going to get into the 35-second range at the moment.
ERT Jordan's looking at it here. He's sniffing for it. He's not got the exit he'll want, and we just saw with Aledi before, this straight isn't fast enough. You need to be right up the gearbox to even think about it.
Yeah, I think ERT Jordan's chances are over, but to be fair, he'll take P8 in a heartbeat because his aim was to get points, and he is getting points. So, Jasper started the race on pole position. To be fair, he never looked back. He had Gels challenging him, but Gels binned it. He had Licks challenging him at one point. He binned it. All of his rivals that challenged him this race failed. And he has been on his own for the whole race. He's been doing time trial laps. And he will be the one to be leading the championship going into Britain.
Oh, and he's weaving.
He can celebrate early if he wants to. Don't hit the wall, but he doesn't. That's good. 34 seconds. He wins in Monaco to take the lead of the Drivers' Championship in Division 4. Amazing stuff. We got Jordan are going for a move. Jordan got past Jordan.
Deary me.
That was.
He's got a penalty. It's not going to matter, but he got past him.
Fair play. They're both lapped down anyway. So Jordan's going to cross the line, and then Jordan's going to cross the line. Jordan will finish ahead. But here comes Rectify and Aledi. I think Aledi did the right thing, not going for the move there. Rectify finishes second, Aledi third, and Flip. If he keeps it on the road, he'll be on
the hard type 33 laps on the hards.
He'll be. It lasts 37 laps around this track, but he's on for his first point in Division 4 in P4. Crazy that. Brilliant stuff for him. And Purdy Posel with the last person across the line on the lead lap in P5. And then we'll go through the rest of the results in a minute. But quite an intense end to that race. But I have to say that there was the biggest gap we've had for all the divisions so far in terms of lead. Shame we didn't have a lead battle, but Ferrari, they're on for some decent points. Yeah, I think will Ferrari lead the constructors? They will lead because Esteban finished in 6th. So yeah, Jasper will lead the drivers, and Ferrari will probably lead the constructors unless Alpine was a little bit too further back to catch up to them. Never mind, but. Good result from Ferrari so far, and hopefully we can get the top 3 in for interviews as well. So we'll see. But anyway, Jasper leads the race, Rectify second, Aledi third. Then we got Flip, Pole Depot, Esteban, the 2 Jordans in 7th and 8th, MCR in 9th, Slayer, your final point scorer in 10th, and also gets the fastest lap as well So he gets 4 points. And your retirements are Gel, Lix, Storm, Ryan B, Sprunky, and Lukey Boy. 6 retirements, but everyone who's finished score points. So, yeah, who was your driver of the day there?
I want to put out an honourable mention to Flip Namshram because that was a great performance by him, but I have to give it to Japser because that was just absolutely dominant.
Yeah, I would have to give it to Jasper as well. I know it's boring going for the race winner, but not many people could go 34 seconds clear of everybody else. That's just absolutely insane. So, yeah. Would you be able to invite the top 3 into our party as well? That would be great because we can speak to them before we go to our races, which start in 20 minutes' time. I'm not looking forward to it at all, but but we will at least have time to interview the top 3 first. I think another honourable mention has to go to Aledi and Rectify for the amazing battle they had for so many laps, and for Aledi just keeping his cool and just not taking any risks. And I think there was certain places where he could have gone for the move, but he didn't. But to be honest, he will take P3 in a heartbeat, and that is better than a DNF. Rectify as well, P2, one of his best results of the season. An IRT 1-2 as well, Nolan.
Yeah, very impressive performance for that team, and overall just a very impressive performance for the people that stayed in because they knew they were going to get points. They didn't give up, and that's what matters the most, really. The people that stayed in got points. Yes,
indeed. So I think it'll be nice to speak to Jasper as well. As speaking of Jasper, he's in the chat. So Jasper, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
What a dominant performance from you. You looked effortless throughout that whole race. 34 seconds in the end between yourself and P2. How does it feel to win the jewel of its crown, Monaco?
Yeah, it's one of my best wins so far. Proud to win Monaco. Didn't got any damage to track limits, so
I think you're the only person.
With no mistakes.
Only person to not get any damage this race, I think, which I have to say is quite incredible. So talk us through that qualifying as well, because that also looked effortless. Were you concentrating on getting your qualifying lap perfect there?
No, I was just trying to get the pole with just 0.5, 0.2 I was aiming for. I know I could do a 0.0, but that wasn't this pole, but it still was a great lap and managed to get pole with a few tenths.
And you saw the likes of obviously your main championship rivals, obviously not here tonight. Lix retired as well. Gel, who was up there with you, retired too. Did you know at that point, once they retired, did you realise you need to take it easy? Or speaking from your performance, you probably didn't take it easy. You were just pushing lap after lap, weren't you?
No, I really wasn't pushing that hard. I was just driving and trying to not get any damage.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say, to be honest, because you were not in many battles at all that race. You were just on your own pretty much. Nolan, any questions for our race winner?
Yeah, when are you going to grow a set of balls and go for fastest lap? Unbelievable.
Mate, I was just trying to get the win in the bag, and that was all.
Next week, we know Wouter's not here.
Yes, I
that's
won't
what he
be here
said.
next week also. So.
Oh, you won't? Oh, that's really interesting then. So you're 1 point ahead in the championship now. Looking at the maths of it, I think whoever scores points still can't go ahead. I don't think they can, no. So whatever happens, I think you're still top of the championship. Maybe if Lix wins.
Yeah, but that probably won't happen because it's Lix. I know him.
So what are you thinking about your fight with just Wouter? Do you reckon you've got one up on him? We've shown that you have the pace in him, but he seems to be very smart when it comes to race strategy.
I really haven't battled with him yet, so hope to do that later that season.
Good stuff. We look forward to seeing it.
We'll let you go and celebrate. Congratulations, Jasper, our race winner for Division 4 around Monaco, and we'll speak to the man who finished in P2 in this race and had a great battle with third place man Aledi, but we'll speak to Aledi in a minute. Recify, congratulations, another good performance for you. You got your second best result of the season in P2, because obviously you got that win earlier on the season in France as well. Was that good redemption after Austria by only getting 4 points there last week?
Yeah, definitely. Austria was. We don't talk really about Austria. That was one to forget. But definitely got my confidence back up in Monaco, which is such a hard track to, be so consistent. But getting no damage, 1 or 2 warnings, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, as well. Talk us through the battle that you have throughout the race with Aledi as well, because Aledi was probably putting you on under pressure. Were you just worried that you were going to have the slightest bit of damage just by having him behind him?
No, so I saw him behind me all the time, and I knew he was there, but in Monaco it's so hard to pass. I was just like, if I don't make a mistake, if I just stay in the zone, he won't get past me, because even with the DRS you just can't catch. So I just did my best to just stay consistent, not get damage or make mistakes, and it paid off at the end.
Decent points as well for you. That will jump up. You'll jump up quite a bit in a championship. To be honest, I'm actually trying to do some maths. 29 plus 18, 47. So that would push you. That would actually push you quite a bit up. Because obviously Lix retired, and I'll push you up into second place ahead of Lix. So or third place ahead of Lix. Sorry, because obviously Valter isn't here tonight. So Lix will be in fourth, whereas you'll be in a third position. So. Does that mean that you're still looking for a potential championship at the end of the season, or is it too early to think about it?
Well, you can't really think about it yet, but I am definitely going for the championship. I want to do it for my friend Nolan over here. But no, that is my aim. I do want to get that done. It's going to be hard with the drivers. I mean, they're so fast in this division. Even in Division 4, this is a very strong division. It's so hard just to be able to keep up with everyone on every track, so it's going to be tough, but I'm hoping to get it.
Nolan, any questions for Recify?
Yeah, Recify, once again, you actually kept it on the track this time. No incidents. Aledi was absolutely up your rear end for the last few laps. I think there's a few times we saw he was about to go for a move and then almost binned it himself. You two look very, very similar for most races when Aledi doesn't bin it. Do you see him possibly as someone that you probably will be stuck around for the rest of the season? Obviously next week, now here and Japs is not going to be there. You've got the top 2 not there. It's probably your best chance to try grab a win and close the gap. Can you see yourself battling? I'm thinking rivalry-wise. Who do you reckon is going to be the closest to you on grid?
I reckon Aledi definitely will be there, but us 4, me, Aledi, Japser and Wouter, because we all, I think we've not all had a win, but Japsa and Wowzer have both had a win, if I'm right. So it's definitely close up there. So I reckon it'll be a nice 4-way battle.
Yeah, well, obviously we can't forget about Licks as well. He's been, apart from this race, when he finishes near the front. Licks is going to be one of those where how many times will he finish? So I think we've got a good front core of people at Division 4 where a lot of people can win. As we've seen, we've had 5 different winners. And Pony Pose is always there to throw a spanner in the works as well. So.
Okay, so congratulations to Recify there. Our P2 man, we'll let you go and celebrate. And a man who was putting the pressure on Recify this evening, another podium position for you. Congratulations, your second, third place in a row, which will jump quite a few people in the championship. Were you just concentrating on just keeping on the road in the final few laps there? Because it looked like you were doing that to avoid any crashes.
Yes, actually, I was trying to keep the pressure on Recify. He really did a good job. I mean, I was hoping that he could get maybe a cut in some corner and getting a 3-second penalty, because in the bottom I knew that I was not going to be able to take a launch or anything. I couldn't have that opportunity to have a tow, and so I couldn't. So I tried to stay within the pressure, putting the pressure, but I couldn't do anything actually.
To be fair though, that's better than you hitting the wall. So for you putting the pressure on Recify, it looks brilliant. You can tell towards the end the gap just closing and closing and closing as you were like, right, you want to get the move done, but you hardly made any mistakes throughout the race as well. Were you a bit worried that you were gonna DNF this race, or were you just focused on the end result?
I was. I mean, I thought I could maybe get some good points with a podium or something, but I lost that second place because I had front wing damage on the second or third lap. I lost like 6 seconds to the guy who was the Red Bull who was second, and that cost me the second place. I mean, I had that 5 seconds in the pit, so that was the bad thing. I was really annoyed, and I was like, I mean, when you get that, you get like impatience, and you wanna get past, you wanna get back your second place. But I said in like a couple of laps before the end, I said okay, I settled with third place.
Yes, because we got to go quickly for our races soon. No, any questions for Aledi?
That's what I say about Aledi. At the moment, you've either had a really good race or a really bad race. There's been no in between. Thinking now you've had 2 good races in a row, maybe start to build up some of that consistency. That's 2 third places in a row actually. Looking forward now, obviously you might be hoping for a bit more next week with a few drivers at the front not turning up. Do you feel like this is the start of a change? Are you going to start going up the order a bit now?
Yeah, I'm really motivated because this division is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of very good drivers. We are pushing each other. We are starting to push each other a little bit more, and I think that I really want to get that second place or a win. But I will be patient, and I think it will come.
That's good to hear, and I hope you join the winners club soon. I think a lot of people seem to be racking up the wins. Not one person to get 2 wins yet. You never know, when the next 2 races you could beat them to it.
I hope so.
Yeah, you never know. So thank you very much to Aledi there. Congratulations, P3. Well done to all of our top 3 tonight who's performed very, very well as well. And also thank you to everybody for watching. We also had the D1 and D3 streams that happened alongside us. If you want to check them out after our stream, you can. But there's 2 more divisions still to run their races. You've got Division 2 where Nolan is racing, and you've got Division 5 where I'm racing as well. So let's hope we could have a better race than we're expecting, or let's hope we could just avoid the walls and not get lapped. But thanks Nolan for joining me in the commentary box. It was great to join you just for this week, and hopefully Tin Can will be back next week.
I'll be missing it again for another party or something that he's going to.
Typical. But yeah, we're gonna head off now because we have our races to get to. But make sure you check those divisions out in 10 minutes time. We will see you next week for our respective divisions at 6:30 for the British Grand Prix. Should be a classic. I've been Jess. Nolan's been Nolan. Have a good evening, everybody, and goodbye.